Section 12 of the Handy Cyclopedia of Things Worth Knowing. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Caitlin Sticko. The Handy Cyclopedia of Things Worth Knowing by Joseph Trie, published in 1911. Section 12. The Language of Flowers. Flowers may be combined and arranged so as to express even the nicest shades of sentiment. If a flower is offered reversed, its direct significance is likewise reversed, so that the flower now means its opposite. A rosebud, divested of its thorns, but retaining its leaves, conveys the sentiment, I fear no longer, I hope. Stripped of leaves and thorns, it signifies, there is nothing to hope or fear. A full-blown rose placed over two buds signifies secrecy. Yes is implied by touching the flower given to the lips. No, by pinching off a petal and casting it away. I am is expressed by a laurel leaf twined around the bouquet. I have by an ivy leaf folded together. I offer you by a leaf of Virginia creeper. Combinations and their meaning. Moss, rosebud, and myrtle, a confession of love. Mignonette and colored daisy, your qualities surpass your charms of beauty. Lily of the valley and ferns, your unconscious sweetness has fascinated me. Yellow rose, broken straw, and ivy, your jealousy has broken our friendship. Scarlet geranium, passion flower, purple hyacinth, and arbor vitae. I trust you will find consolation through faith in your sorrow. Be assured of my unchanging friendship. Columbine, daylily, broken straw, witch hazel, and colored daisy. Your folly and coquetry have broken the spell of your beauty. White pink, canary grass, and laurel. Your talent and perseverance will win you glory. Goldenrod and monk's head, sweet pea and forget-me-not. Be cautious, danger is near. I depart soon, forget-me-not. Significance of single flowers. Arbor vitae, unchanging friendship. Camellia, white, loveliness. Candy tuft, indifference. Carnation, deep red, alas for my poor heart. Carnation, white, disdain. China aster, variety. Clover, four-leaf, be mine. Clover, white, think of me. Clover, red, industry. Columbine, folly. Columbine, purple, resolved to win. Daisy, innocence. Dead leaves, sadness. Deadly nightshade, falsehood. Fern, fascination. Forget-me-not, true love, and forget-me-not. Fuchsia, scarlet, taste. Geranium, rose, preference. Geranium, scarlet, consolation. Goldenrod, be cautious. Heliotrope, devotion. Honeyflower, love, sweet and secret. Hyacinth, white, unobtrusive loveliness. Ivy, fidelity. Lady's slipper, win me and wear me. Lily, day, coquetry. Lily, white, sweetness. Lily, yellow, gaiety. Lily of the valley, return of happiness. Mignonette, your qualities surpass your charm. Monk's head, danger is near. Myrtle, love. Oats, the witching soul of music. Orange blossom, chastity. pansy, thoughts, passion flower, faith, peach blossom, I am your captive, pear, affection, primrose, inconstancy, quaking grass, agitation, rose, love, rose deep red, bashful shame, rose yellow, jealousy, rose white, I am worthy of you, rosebud, moss, confession of love, shamrock, light-heartedness, straw, agreement, straw, broken, broken agreement, sweet pea, depart, tuberose, dangerous pleasures, verbena, pray for me, witch hazel, a spell. Alphabet of advice to writers. A word out of place spoils the most beautiful thought. Voltaire. B. Begin humbly, labor faithfully, be patient. Elizabeth Stuart Phelps. C. Cultivate accuracy in words and things. Amass sound knowledge. Avoid all affectation. Write all topics which interest you. F. W. Newman. D. Don't be afraid. Fight right along. Hope right along. S. L. Clemens. E. Every good writer has much idiom. It is the life and spirit of language. W. S. Landor. F. Follow this. If you write from the heart, you will write to the heart. Beaconsfield. G. Genius may begin great works, but only continued labor completes them. Joubert. H. Half the writer's art consists in learning what to leave in the inkpot. Stevenson. I. It is by suggestion, not cumulation, that profound impressions are made on the imagination. Lowell. J. Joy in one's work is an asset beyond the valuing in mere dollars. C. D. Warner. K. Keep writing, and profit by criticism. Use for a motto Michelangelo's wise words, Genius is infinite patience. L. M. Alcott. L. Let me never tag a moral to a story, nor tell a story without a meaning. Van Dyck. M. More failures come from vanity than carelessness. Joseph Jefferson. N. Never do a pot boiler. Let one of your best things go to boil the pot. O. Henry. O. Originality does not mean oddity, but freshness. It means vitality, not novelty. Norman Hapgood. P. Pluck feathers from the wings of your imagination and stick them in the tail of your judgment. Horace Greeley. Q. Quintessence approximates genius. Gather much thought into few words. Schopenhauer. R. Revise, revise, revise. E. E. Hale. S. Simplicity has been held a mark of truth. It is also a mark of genius. Carlyle. T. The first principle of composition of whatever sort is that it should be natural and appear to have happened so. Frederick Macmonnies. U. Utilize your enthusiasm. Get the habit of happiness in your work. Beveridge. V. Very few voices but sound repellent under violent exertion. Lessing. W. Whatever in this world one has to say, there is a word, and just one word to express it. Seek that out and use it. De Maupassant. Y. Yes, yes. Believe me, you must draw your pen, not once, not twice, but o'er and o'er again, through what you've written, if you would entice the man who reads you once to read you twice. Horace, Conington, Tr. Z. Zeal with scanty capacity often accomplishes more than capacity with no zeal at all. George Eliot. What different eyes indicate. The long, almond-shaped eye, with thick eyelids covering nearly half of the pupil, when taken in connection with the full brow, is indicative of genius, and is often found in artists, literary and scientific men. It is the eye of talent, or impressibility. The large, open, transparent eye, of whatever color, is indicative of elegance, of taste, of refinement, of wit, of intelligence. Weakly marked eyebrows indicate a feeble constitution and a tendency to melancholia. Deep sunken eyes are selfish, while eyes in which the whole iris shows indicate erraticism, if not lunacy. Round eyes are indicative of innocence, strongly protuberant eyes of weakness of both mind and body. Eyes small and close together typify cunning, while those far apart and open indicate frankness. The normal distance between the eyes is the width of one eye. A distance greater or less than this intensifies the character supposed to be symbolized. Sharp angles, turning down at the corners of the eyes, are seen in persons of acute judgment and penetration. Well-opened, steady eyes belong to the sincere, wide, staring eyes to the impertinent. The mysteries of palmistry. The following points, upon which the science of palmistry is based, explain its mysteries, and will be found very interesting, amusing, and instructive. Form of the hand. Hands are classed into 7 types, each of which is illustrated by the cuts on the preceding page, and described as follows. Plate 1. The elementary or bilious hand, indicating brutal instinct instead of reason as the governing power of the character. The plate that this text refers to is of a hand showing heavy, short fingers, small, short nails, and a short thumb. The palm is small and square. Return to text. Plate 2. The square or Jupiter hand, indicating a practical, stubborn, methodical, and conventional character, one apt to be suspicious of strangers and radical in views. The plate that this text refers to is of a hand showing a wide, square palm, a thick, square wrist, squared-off fingertips, and a very fat, short thumb. Return to text. Plate 3. The spatulate or nervous hand, so named because of its imagined resemblance to a spatula. It is broad at the base of the fingers, and indicates great energy and push to discover, also courage and fearlessness. The plate that this text refers to is of a hand showing fingers and nails flattened like a spatula. The thumb is long and tapered. Return to text. Plate 4. The philosophic or Venus hand has a long, thin, muscular palm with long, knotty fingers, indicates a student of nature and a searcher after truth. The plate that this text refers to is of a long, irregular-looking hand with very knotty joints, long, bony fingers, and nails shaped like squat cones. Return to text. Plate 5. The Mercury or artistic hand indicates quick temper, impulsiveness, a character that is light-hearted, gay, and charitable today, and tomorrow sad, tearful, and uncharitable. The plate that this text refers to is of a hand with smooth fingers, a long palm, and unusually long, large thumb. Return to text. Plate 6. The lunar or idealistic hand indicates an extremely sensitive nature. The plate that this text refers to is of a small, slender hand with tapering fingers and a sharply tapered thumb. Return to text. Plate 7. The harmonic or solar hand indicates a character of great versatility, brilliant in conversation, and an adept in diplomacy. The plate that this text refers to is a hand of ordinary proportions, somewhat squared but not thick, with a well-proportioned thumb. Return to text. The fingers. For fortune-telling, the fingers from first to fourth are designated as Jupiter, Saturn, Apollo, and Mercury. Note the cut on the preceding page, representing the different types of fingers, numbered from 1 to 11. 1. Large fingers indicate a person of vulgar tastes and a cruel, selfish disposition. 2. Small, thin fingers indicate a keen, quick-acting mind and a person not very particular about personal appearance. 3. Long, lean fingers indicate an inquiring disposition, love of details and narrative. Short fingers imply simple tastes and selfishness. 4. Fat fingers, largely developed at base, indicate sensualness. If small at the base, the reverse. 5. Smooth fingers indicate artistic ability. 6. Knotty fingers indicate truthfulness and good order in business affairs. 7. Pointed fingers indicate a very magnetic and enthusiastic personality. 8. Square fingers indicate a strong mind, regularity and love of good order. 9. Spatulate fingers indicate a character of positiveness in opinions and lacking in gentleness. 10. Fingers of mixed shape indicate a harmonious disposition with the ability to easily adapt oneself to all conditions. 11. Obtuse fingers indicate coarse and cruel sensibilities. The phalanges of the fingers. See Plate 8, 1, 2, 3, the phalanges of the thumb. 4, 5, 6, repeated on each finger, indicate the phalanges of the 4 fingers. The plate that this text refers to numbers the phalanges of the fingers and thumb from the tip to the base. Return to text. The mounts of the hands. See Plate 9. A. Mount Venus. B. Mount Jupiter. C. Mount Saturn. D. Mount Apollo. E. Mount Mercury. F. Mount Luna. G. Mount Mars. The plate that this text refers to marks the fleshy bases of each digit as follows: the thumb as Mount Venus, the first or pointer finger as Mount Jupiter, the middle finger as Mount Saturn, the ring finger as Mount Apollo, and the pinky finger as Mount Mercury. The fleshy base opposite the thumb is marked as Mount Luna, and Mount Mars is marked as both the space between this and the pinky finger, and also the thumb mount and the pointer mount. In other words, Mount Mars is marked as the middle of both sides of the palm. Return to text. The shape and length of the phalanges represent certain qualities and features of the character, as presented in the following. Jupiter, the first finger. If the phalange is no longer than the second, it indicates ability to control others, direct and maintain order. If the second phalange is long and well developed, it indicates leadership. If short and thin, intellectual weakness. If the third phalange is long, it indicates love of power in material things. Saturn, second finger. If the first phalange is longer than the second, it indicates ability for mastering scientific subjects. If the second phalange is long, it indicates great interest in subjects requiring deep study. If the third phalange is long, it indicates a love of metaphysics and money. Apollo, third finger. If the first phalange is longer than the second, it indicates love of arts. If the second phalange is longer, it indicates success and love of riches. If the third phalange is thick, it indicates an inherent talent of the arts. Mercury, fourth finger. If the first phalange is longer than the second, it indicates a taste for and love of research. If the second phalange is long and well developed, it indicates industrious habits. If the third phalange is long and fat, it indicates a desire for the comforts of life. the mountains. These are points or elevations on the palm. Mount Venus, if prominent, indicates a person of strong passions, great energy in business, and admiration of physical beauty in the opposite sex. It also indicates love of children, home and wife or husband. When not well developed, there is a lack of love for home, children, wife or husband, and in a man it indicates egotism and laziness, in a woman, hysteria. Mount Jupiter, if prominent, indicates a person who is generous, loves power, and is brilliant in conversation. If a woman, she desires to shine and be a social leader. When not well developed, it indicates lack of self-esteem, slovenliness, and indifference to personal appearance. Mount Saturn, if prominent, indicates a serious-minded person, religiously inclined, slow to reach a conclusion, very prudent, free in the expression of opinions, but inclined to be pessimistic. Mount Apollo, if prominent, indicates ability as an artist, generosity, courageousness, and a poetical nature, apt to be a spendthrift. When not well developed, it indicates cautiousness and prudence. Mount Mercury, if prominent, indicates keen perceptions, cleverness in conversation, a talent for the sciences, industry, and deceitfulness. If not well developed, it indicates a phlegmatic, stupid disposition. Mount Luna, if prominent, indicates a dreamy, changeable, capricious, enthusiastic, and inventive nature. When not well developed, it indicates constancy, love of home, and ability to imitate others. Mount Mars, if prominent, indicates self-respect, coolness, and control of self under trying circumstances, courage, venturesomeness, and confidence in one's ability for anything undertaken. When not well developed, it indicates the opposite of these characteristics. Lines on the hand. If the lines on the hand are not well defined, this fact indicates poor health. Deep red lines indicate good, robust health. Yellow lines indicate excessive biliousness. Dark-colored lines indicate a melancholy and reserved disposition. The lifeline extends from the outer base of Mount Jupiter entirely around the base of Mount Venus. The lifeline extends from the outer base of Mount Jupiter entirely around the base of Mount Venus. If chained under Jupiter, it indicates bad health in early life. Hairlines extending from it imply weakness, and if cut by small lines from Mount Venus, misplaced affections and domestic broils. If arising from Mount Jupiter, an ambition is to be wealthy and learned. If it is joined by the line of the head at its beginning, prudence and wisdom are indicated. If it joins heart and head lines at its commencement, a great catastrophe will be experienced by the person so marked. A square on it denotes success. All lines that follow give it strength. Lines that cut the lifeline extending through the heart line denote interference in a love affair. If it is crossed by small lines, illness is indicated. Short and badly drawn lines, unequal in size, imply bad blood and a tendency to fevers. The heart line, if it extends across the hand at the base of the finger mounts, and is deep and well defined, indicates purity and devotion. If well defined from the Mount of Jupiter only, a jealous and tyrannical disposition is indicated. If it begins at Mount Saturn and is without branches, it is a fatal sign. If short and well defined in the harmonic type of hand, it indicates intense affection when it is reciprocated. If short on the Mercury type of hand, it implies deep interest in intellectual pursuits. If short and deep in the elementary type hand, it implies the disposition to satisfy desire by brutal force, instead of by love. The head line is parallel to the heart line and forms the second branch of the letter M, generally very plain in most hands. If long and deep, it indicates ability to care for oneself. If hairlines are attached to it, mental worry. If it divides toward Mount Mercury, love affairs will be first, and business secondary. If well defined its whole length, it implies a well-balanced brain. A line from it extending into a star on Mount Jupiter, great versatility, pride, and love for knowledge are indicated. If it extends to Mount Luna, great interest in occult studies is implied. Separated from the lifeline indicates aggressiveness. If it is broken, death is indicated from an injury in the head. The rascets are lines across the wrist, where the palm joins it. It is claimed they indicate length of life. If straight, it is a good sign. One rasclet indicates 30 years of life, 2 lines 60, 3 lines 90. The fate line commences at rascets, and if it extends straight to Mount Saturn, uninterrupted and alike in both hands, good luck and success are realized without personal exertion. If not in one hand and interrupted in the other, success will be experienced only by great effort. If well defined at the wrist, the early life is bright and promising. If broken in the center, misery from middle life is indicated. If this line touches Mounts Luna and Venus, it indicates a good disposition and wealth. If inclined toward any mount, it implies success in that line for which the mount stands. If it is made up of disconnected links, it indicates serious physical and moral struggles. Should it end at heartline, the life has been ruined by unrequited love. If it runs through a square, the life has been in danger and saved. Should it merge into the heart line and continue to Mount Jupiter, it denotes distinction and power secured through love. The girdle of Venus is a curved line extending from Mount Jupiter to Mercury, encircling Saturn and Apollo. It appears on few hands, but it indicates superior intellect, a sensitive and capricious nature. If it extends to base of Jupiter, it denotes divorce. Ending in Mercury implies great energy. Should it be cut by parallel lines in a man, it indicates a hard drinker and gambler. Lines of reputation, commencing in the middle of the hand, at the headline, Mount Luna or Mount Mars, indicate financial success from intellectual pursuits after years of struggling with adversity. If from heartline, real love of occupation and success. If from headline, success from selfishness. An island on this line denotes loss of character. A start on it near Apollo implies that success will be permanent, and a square, brilliant success. The absence of this line implies a struggle for recognition of one's abilities. Line of intuition, beginning at the base of Mount Mercury, extends around Mars and Luna. It is frequently found in the Venus, Mercury, and lunar types of hands. When deeply dented with a triangle on Mount Saturn, it denotes clairvoyant power. If it forms a triangle with fate line or lifeline, a voyage will be taken. Health line commences at the center of the rascets, takes an oblique course from the fate line, ending towards Mount Mercury. If straight and well defined, there is little liability to constitutional diseases. When it does not extend to headline, steady mental labor cannot be performed. When it is broad and deep on Mount Mercury, diminishing as it enters the lifeline, death from heart disease is indicated. Small lines cutting it denote sickness from biliousness. When joined to the heart line, health and business are neglected for love. If made up of short, fine lines, there is a suffering from stomach catarrh. If it is checked by islands, there is a constitutional tendency to lung disease. Marriage lines extend straight across Mount Mercury. If short, affairs of the heart without marriage are denoted. When near heartline, early marriage is indicated. If it turns directly to heartline, marriage will occur between the ages of 16 and 21. If close to the top of the mount, marriage will not take place before the 35th year. If it curves upward, it indicates a single life. When pronged and running toward the center or to Mount Mars, divorce will occur. If at the end this line droops, the subject will outlive wife or husband. If broken, divorce is implied. If it ends in a cross, the wife or husband will die from an accident. A branch from this line upward implies a high position attained by marriage. A black spot on this line means widowhood. Children's lines are small and upright, extending from the end of marriage lines. If broad and well defined, males. If fine and narrow, females are indicated. A line of this order that is deep and well defined denotes prominence for that child. Small lines have a signification depending upon their position and number. A single line on Jupiter signifies success, on Saturn happiness, on Apollo fame and talent. Ascending small lines are favorable, while descending lines are unfavorable signs. Several small lines on Mars indicate warfare constantly. Cross lines, failure. End of section 12.